This is the Pop Culture Punch.
Ouch.
There's a lot of punching going on in
Punch me.
the season 3 episode of Ozark.
Yeah, man. I don't want to go to the Ozarks because if that's what happens there, that's scary. It really is.
Man, a
Poor.
huge punch at the end. Are we going to discuss spoilers? I mean, it's been
Yeah.
2 weeks.
I was thinking of a new podcast where I just spoil everything. If you don't want to watch it, you need to save time. I'll just tell you what happens.
There you go.
But yeah, Helen, man, rest in peace, Helen. Right?
I mean,
Poor
I
Helen.
had a feeling she was going to get it, but not like. I hated that they just ended it like that. Like they always do. Like they always end. I think every season they end on cliffhangers.
I knew she was going down because she basically left that guy no choice.
Right.
And he was either going to go with the birds or go with her.
We all knew they were going to kill the birds.
He was going to go with the birds.
I was in denial the last half the first half of the last episode that Ben was actually dead. Because they didn't show it. They didn't make a big dramatic thing about him. Like, he's still alive. And then like, but who wants him alive? Like the only person who could have kept him alive was Helen. And I'm like, this. And then by the half, I'm like, no, he's dead.
Before they showed the guy coming back with his body, I thought before I aggressively started the next episode, I thought that he killed the other guy and he was going to come back and be like, I'm fucking crazy. I couldn't see. I can't believe she had him killed though. Like that was fucking crazy.
That was crazy.
They should have just like put him back in the asylum. Like, why couldn't they put him back in the asylum? Why couldn't they tell Ruth like, hey, don't have sex with him, make him take his meds? I mean, there's other ways to get around that. And I don't know how old he is, but like that's the first time you ever had that problem. You obviously know that's what happens.
Yeah.
So like have like a plan B, not just go off your meds and like fucking ruin everybody's life. But that's what happens. That's why you take your medication, because if you don't, the cartel might get you. Something to be said about that.
Yeah. But yeah, what a season.
I mean, do you think he deserved to die? I mean, it got to a point where he was just too dangerous. I mean, him getting that phone was the last straw.
I mean, he was all like...
He called Helen. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, I mean, he had multiple chances. Like, he crashed the political schmooze fest, the charity event. He crashed
I thought he was dead then. I thought that was like, you're dead.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to kill you now.
And then Darlene got him out of prison. Or not prison, out of the mental hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he just picked up. Oh, no, as soon as he went to Helen's and yelled at him and yelled at her daughter. Like, yep, he's dead for sure.
Yeah, Helen had a thing about her daughter knowing, which was just stupid because you can't keep that shit from kids, man. You just can't.
No.
And looks like her husband gets the last laugh. He gets the kids now, and she's gonna disappear. And what's crazy about that is her daughter's gonna know exactly what happened versus I have no clue.
Right.
And they can thank the birds for that.
Yeah.
Do you think what's her face, Wendy, is evil now? Like went too far? Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, just. I saw a definite change in her character. We have maybe mentioned this last time, but she kind of emulated Helen a lot. She wanted to be like Helen. She wanted to be this bad bitch.
Protect the cartel. Or not the cartel. Well, yeah, I guess the cartel at all costs. I think the nail in the coffin, no pun intended, was, Ben was all sympathetic. He even called Helen. And then he bought another burner phone.
Yeah,
that's when Helen, I think, Wendy made the decision that it had to be done.
Right. Helen made the decision a long time ago.
Right. I don't know. Really good season. 10 out of 10. Wasn't slow. Maybe the first episode was a little slow, but then I don't know. The first episodes of this like shows that are returning, like I completely forget what's going on.
I had that issue with Saul. I did. I had that issue, which we could
That
talk about in a second.
hmm yeah,
Now, now, Marty, how can you go back to trusting your wife after that? Like, how can you have a relationship after that? After those games they played with each other? Did they really realize they loved each other when he got taken to the cartel compound in Mexico?
I don't know. I think that's the only thing I didn't like about the first half of the season was how passive Marty was. No, I guess he wasn't passive. I don't know. That's what's the word I'm looking for. Like I liked the Marty Bird after he came back from the Mexican compound.
He didn't want any trouble. He just wanted to do the stupid casino and just fly under the radar. And Wendy wanted the big glitz and glam and
Hmm
be some big shot. And she started teaming up with Helen, and Helen kind of wanted to put a wedge between them. And then it got to the point where Helen was like, they both got to go.
hmm
Once her daughter found out, I think it was over.
Yeah.
That was like her fucking thing. But if you don't want your daughter finding out, then why do you have people beat the shit out of your husband? They'd be like, oh, I don't know what happened. I mean, kids aren't stupid. They aren't stupid. They know there's something weird going on. But so Helen's dead, and then you got next season's already being established. So the Birds are in with the Navarro cartel. They're in even more than they ever have been. And then you have Cosgrove is going to be working with that old witch, and then
Yeah.
she's got Ruth and her brother doing the poppy farm. So that's set up. They're going to do that. Even though I find it hard to believe Cosgrove will let that go. He's getting his son's dick blown off, but I would also be like, you beat up a girl, dude. You got what was coming to you.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Well, do you agree with Ruth? Because that's the one thing I do want to say is this was a big female season. I mean, you had Helen, you
Yeah.
had Wendy, you had Ruth, and then you had the daughter, and then you kind of had Marty trying to like survive. I mean, it was definitely a female-driven cast, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I really do. They're all very talented, very, very good actresses. But I mean, once what did you think of that FBI agent? That FBI, the pregnant FBI agent. I mean, he kept trying to turn her. He kept trying to throw her cases, and he kept getting her in trouble when she ignored the cases. Like, and then they wanted to get her back. I was confused. Why did they want to get her back once he got her fired? I was confused about that. Like, wasn't your goal to get rid of her, or
No,
did they?
they wanted to turn her. They wanted to. They wanted them to work. They wanted. They wanted an FBI agent to be in. To be in on it.
It wasn't going to happen though.
No. Well, that's what Marty was trying to sell to Navarro. That we're going to have an FBI agent in his
Yes.
pocket.
So once he got her fired, instead of like trying to turn the next one, I don't know. I get it. I don't know. It just seems like kind of weird, unreasonable. I'd be like, cool, we got rid of the FBI. Get out of here.
Yeah.
But whatever.
The only thing that was strange that made me question, we'll wrap it up after this, is the laundering, the giving the money to people to gamble to launder when the FBI is there. Like that's like I just kept saying, duh. They know. Like, why would you do that while the FBI is there? I know they had to launder money. That's probably the only way to do it. Like, how does that not throw up a red flag when people are dropping tens of thousands of dollars a day? You know?
Well, I was thinking the same thing actually. And I mean, I was wondering myself, so if I came into a casino and I started dropping $200,000, would I get investigated? Like, where's your money coming from?
Yeah.
Do you have to show like
I
when you gamble where the money came from,
that I
or
don't know.
because but since Marty was being investigated, that if Marty wasn't being investigated, then no. But since the casino was, then you got this guy. They know how much money he makes a year, and he's like gambled away $250,000. Yeah, okay, that gives you like probable cause versus like randomly doing it to somebody, right?
Right.
I mean, they can look at all that shit though. So keep in mind, if you're a degenerate gambler, they can look at all that.
Yeah.
They really can. They can be like, you make this a year and you've lost this. It's all on record. It really is. But they shouldn't have chosen the group that they chose to give them that money because they're all like redneck
Yeah.
people. Like
Yeah,
people who
just that
normally,
that whole thing didn't. I thought that was going somewhere, but it did. It never did.
it was just to move the money.
Yeah,
And
but
eventually that FBI agent got on that guy, and he's like, "Oh no,
right.
who is that guy? I don't even. I remember his face, but what's his
He was
relevance?"
the guy, I think, whose grandma or grandpa. Wait a minute. Didn't he have something to do with the funeral home that they bought in the
Yes,
first season? So that was his grandma,
yes.
maybe.
He was annoying to me. I was hoping he'd get killed.
the the guy who looked like a fish.
Yeah, just like the wrong guy you want to commit a crime with.
Yeah.
So then, when you got crimes, you get a lawyer, right? And Helen was their lawyer. I wonder if Saul Goodman would have done a better job for the cartel since he's kind of working with them now.
Oh, for
He
sure. He's
he's bailing.
experienced.
Yeah, he knows. He could teach Helen a thing or two. So he's now bailed out Lalo, $7 million bail. He's got to go pick it up. That's how it ended. Um, Mike, what is Mike? Mike basically helped them get out because that's part of their game now. So Ignacio, I like to call him Ignacio, not Nacho. He reported to Gus that they're basically going to be firebombing his shit and they're going to be doing all kinds of horrible stuff. So they got him arrested.
Hmm.
And now they're bailing him out because he's still ordering hits from prison because you saw him with that cell phone.
Hmm.
He basically told Nacho to burn down. Okay, yeah, he told Nacho to burn down. Fuck, Gus burned it down himself. Yeah. Okay. Why are they bailing him out of jail? Gus said anything happens to him on this side of the border, it's on me. So do they think he's going to flee back to Mexico and that's the end of it? I don't think so. I think he's going to hang around. And I think he knows Gus did this to him. So why are they bailing him out? Jerry, go. 5 seconds.
That I don't know.
There's a method to the madness, though.
Yeah.
They're not bailing him out for no reason. There's something there. I mean, and keep in mind he's not in Breaking Bad, so
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out next or the next couple episodes. But
they're doing exactly. Saul's doing exactly what he's told. He's not doing this on his own.
No.
So, but yeah, and then him and Kim, they're married now. Happy married couple.
Yeah, and they're doing it just for the. I love Huell's character in this.
What did you think of that though? When Yul was like, "You need to have a honeymoon. You need to do this and that," and he's like, "Hey man, it's just business."
Mm-hmm.
You think that's his defense mechanism, where he doesn't want to admit that it means something to him, or you think he really doesn't give a shit about being married to Kim?
I think he does.
So was you just saying, "Hey, let it go, man. Like, chill out,"
Yeah.
kind of getting embarrassed a little bit?
Yeah.
My
Maybe.
next question, my next question is Howard.
Howard Stern.
Oh, I'll always talk about Howard Stern. Howard, remember?
Yeah.
Conversation with Howard. He just starts screaming all that crazy shit. Like,
Yeah.
I've been in worlds you've never been in.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Let him have it.
So Howard knows he did all that shit to him. I
Yeah.
don't know how he knows, but he knows he threw bowling balls at his car, and he had hookers come and embarrass him at lunch. And I mean, I think that right there was okay. We've been seeing Saul this and that. He's starting to do shady stuff and pull scams. That was who he really was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need you. You're beneath me. Like, he's been waiting so many years to say that. Like, was there a part of you that ever thought he would go work for Howard? Obviously, it's not part of the storyline, but maybe some side story and then not work out. Like, he does he blame him for his death? Because it was, or Chuck's death? It wasn't Howard's fault that he never was promoted. It was his fucking brothers. I mean, Howard came to him and was like, "Hey, I'm sorry about all this. You want to work for me? I'm impressed by what you're doing now." And Saul was just shat all over him. If he literally could, he probably would have.
Mm-hmm.
So what is he just bitter? Is he angry? Or does he represent Chuck to him? Why can't you just say, "Sorry, man, I'm doing my own thing"? Why? I mean, he is angry at Howard. He hates Howard. But he called him a pig effer in one of the episodes.
Well, yeah, because I mean, with the whole bowling ball thing, because I think we asked ourselves in the last episode of why he was doing all this stuff, the bowling ball, and now we know.
But why though? Where's the anger coming from? Why does he hate Howard? Am I missing something? I mean, I understand that he worked in the mailroom and he wanted to be a lawyer, and then Howard never gave him his due, but it was because of Chuck, and Chuck was the problem, and he knows that.
Mm-hmm.
So why does Howard represent a lifestyle that he could never be? Is it deeper than that? Is it that he represents Chuck? Does he represent a part of the world that has rejected him, the right side, or is that him symbolically rejecting everything that is right and good? I mean, he said some psycho shit
I
to
think
him, man. I mean,
he's just turned. He's not McGill anymore. He's Saul Goodman. He's going through that character.
basically like, oh, you want me to work for you? Okay, ha ha ha, ha, fuck you.
Hmm.
You know, uh, okay. So, and then that's pretty much. I don't think. I mean, I'm sure there's other stuff going on. Um, Gus met with that guy who killed himself. Werner, is that his name?
Hmm.
He
Yeah,
met with
Mr.
him in the
Magical.
hotel. Yeah. So they met in a hotel, and they kind of are getting into more of his dealings with him. We only saw him briefly in Breaking Bad, real briefly.
Yeah,
So we'll see what happens. But this is probably the best season of Better Call Saul I've ever seen.
yeah.
Like it's
It's fun to see him as Saul and full on Saul, and we're just getting closer to meeting with Breaking Bad.
they're showing more sex scenes though. They never ever showed sex scenes, and now they're showing like him and Kim have sex, which I feel sorry for Kim, but I feel envious of Odenkirk.
Yeah.
So other stuff I've been watching to kill the time: Paradise PD, which is a cartoon that's very offensive, made by the people who made Brickleberry, which was a show on Comedy Central that had Daniel Tosh voice a bear. I believe it's the guy who played Yucko the Clown, who was on Howard Stern. They even had Howard Stern, like High Pitch Eric, on it. Other people, I don't know if it's really them, but it's funny, very funny. I also watched the second season of Happy with Christopher Maloney. He played Stabler on SVU. He was on Oz. Actually, he's coming back as Stabler in a Law and Order spinoff, so that has me really excited. I'm not going to punch any holes in the wall today. Happy. You might like go, oh, there's it's with Patton Oswalt. He's the voice of his like imaginary friend. You might say that's a kid show. It's not. It's not a kid show, so don't fall for that. I think it's based off a graphic novel. It seems like it is. Amazing soundtrack, very violent, but it's fucking awesome, and I like it. But that's me. You may not have the same kind of sense of humor I have. Also, still watching Ray Donovan. Almost wrapped up with season 6. I watched this documentary, How to Fix a Drug Scandal, which basically two different people who worked in drug labs. When you get busted with drugs, they test them. These people did the drugs, or another person fabricated it just so people would like them because the DAs need those. And it is very disturbing how the system fought against wiping these people's convictions clean, even let a couple people out and then put them back in. So if you want a documentary that will shake your faith in the system, How to Fix a Drug Scandal, and anything you're streaming that you're watching? You watched WrestleMania, didn't you, last night? Some of it.
Some of it. I just caught pieces of the end. I mean, I had to. It's free. They're doing it in an empty building, and they did like a pre-recorded cinematic match, the Boneyard match. And we could do a deep dive later, I guess. But Matt and I used to watch wrestling in its heyday, and now that wrestling is readily available, and the WWE gave access to the WWE network for free while everybody's inside. It's like, I'll check some old stuff out. It's got me kind of hooked back a little bit. So, of course, with WrestleMania available, yeah, I'll check it out. I mean, it's still, for what they had to work with, wrestling in an empty building, no fans. This is WrestleMania, and there's supposed to be 50,000 fans at this place, and there's nothing. And I read like headliners had to drop out because of the virus issues. But it's pretty entertaining. Part one was last night, and part two's tonight. But from what I saw last night, it was entertaining. I don't know if I'd pay $50 to watch it.
I heard the Undertaker match was really good.
Yeah, it was like watching a movie, which was kind of
That
strange. Like this is like
was
they dubbed in like punch sound effects when they were hitting each other. Like, oh, okay. So So for what it was worth, I mean, it was kind of weird just to, they're literally watching a movie, not a wrestling match. It was kind of a little cheesy. I think the whole crux of it was, this is going to be so bad. Like the whole thing is just going to be so bad. So almost anything that, was halfway entertaining is like, oh, it wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty good.
It seemed like a lot of people. It seemed like some people thought it was stupid, just based off my Twitter perusing. Some people thought it was stupid, and then some people were just like, "Wow, the athleticism! It really shows like how talented these wrestlers really are."
Mm-hmm.
That you really, without the whole glitz and glam and 50,000 people, you got to be a good wrestler to be able to pull off a halfway interesting match. So there's some. Did you see the female matchup? There's some fucking scandal with that. People were in an uproar with that. I don't know the context of the female matchup,
Mm-mm.
but yeah. So, what was the big match? The Undertaker and the Undertaker and was it
AJ,
Raven?
no,
They,
AJ Styles.
was Raven on there? I want to say I saw Raven somewhere.
I don't think Raven has wrestled.
Yeah, he's in some third-rate league, I think.
Oh.
So, you said Goldberg fought?
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I checked it out. I'm like, Goldberg's still wrestling, and he was the champion too. But he was just facing this big guy, and Goldberg did like 3 spears, and the guy kicked out, and then the other guy did like 3 body slams in a row, and then it was over to Goldberg.
Who was the guy? Do you know? Is he some new guy?
I don't know. Like that's the preface. We were not like, I mean, we're fans of wrestling, but not like the current stuff. So
I think a
I don't
lot
remember.
of a lot of people have lost their way with the current stuff. I
Yeah,
think they have. We're not alone with that.
it's just completely different, which it
And I
should
think
be. I mean, it's wrestling for this era.
yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people will still go to the Raws when you could go, and they'll go to
Right.
WrestleManias. But as far as like watching it every week religiously with these epic storylines, I don't know if that exists anymore.
No. Well, anytime I do kind of check it out, like everything is just super, like just squeaky clean, scripted. Like you don't see the lack of better terms rawness of it. Like the promos and everything just seems really just fake, or not fake, like scripted and acted and whatnot.
Is there any attitude?
No,
There's no DX. There's no suck it. There's no
no. And it's just
because
sad.
still.
That's another thing. Like when like something does come back, because they advertise it, like Stone Cold's going to be back this tonight. If they'll advertise it for like 2 weeks and you watch it, it's like Stone Cold's actually not bad because he still does like the beer drinking stuff. But like anybody else, like oh my god, look how old you look, and kind of just makes it's the whole thing. It's like oh, okay, you're not as cool as you used to be, and now it makes me feel old. And then it's a weird response.
Existential crisis watching wrestling.
Yeah,
I
but
know a lot of people that are like checking it out because it's free.
yeah, that's the thing. It's a good way to
Like,
get back into it. I mean, I'm kind of interested, and I don't know if I'm interested in the new stuff. Like you said, I won't watch it every. And then it's funny, like SmackDown's on like Fox now, so like I feel like now should be the time. But anytime I check it out, it's like, it's kind of boring, or it's just not really interesting, in my opinion.
I can watch a couple matches, but like sit there for 2 to 4 hours, I couldn't do that.
Right, right.
I couldn't. I maybe like the main event match or something. But so you're gonna check it out tonight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar's still wrestling.
Who's the main event tonight?
Brock Lesnar,
Versus
some guy.
some new no name guy.
No, I don't know any of these. I mean, they're not like the wrestlers who we watch. Like they're all gone, which they should be, except for like a handful of them. Actually, no. Edge is wrestling Randy Orton tonight, which should be interesting.
St. Louis.
And somebody else. Oh, John Cena, which I never watched wrestling when John Cena was big.
I went to some dark match with him, or that wasn't on TV, and I saw him, and he was just the whole point was him.
Mm-hmm.
He fought Kane. It was cool.
Yeah.
On Happy season 2, this guy goes to jail, and guess who his cellmate is?
Who?
Who would be the worst cellmate you could think of?
Oh God.
The Big Show.
Oh my god, dude!
Is he still wrestling?
They gave him he has like a Netflix family scripted show, like a sitcom.
The Big Show?
Yeah, look it
The
up.
Big Show.
But it's called like he's playing like the Big Show, but he's like a family man now.
He was funny though in Happy Two. He plays a good creepy.
It's called the Big Show Show.
Wow, that's creative.
And it looks really, really cheesy and campy.
Wow.
Okay, who am I?
But he's not wrestling no more.
No.
And Kane's in politics, right?
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like when these people do, like they advertise, like they just come out and do like one tiny little thing and then they're done.
That's probably all they got.
Yeah, I'm not blaming them.
Yeah. It's not their fault. It's Vince's fault for not cropping new talent.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned. Go ahead.
I would say, speaking of cinematic, have you seen any movies?
Yeah, I did see The Invisible Man.
So did I.
What'd you think of it?
I liked it. There were parts of it that didn't seem really logical or. But I like the premise. Even though I don't think the premise is new. Isn't the Invisible Man a reboot?
Yeah, but I don't think it's the same kind of subject matter.
Yeah.
Where it's like someone terrorizing somebody. I think there's like an old movie and it's like a comedy where he's got like glasses on and a hat and he's invisible. It's like, oh, probably some Don Knotts piece of shit. Barney Fife from, I don't know, some Disney shit. I mean, I'm serious.
They tried to make it like a psychological thriller, which I don't know. It was kind of predictable. I guess I can say that.
It was a fun movie. It was exciting. I
enjoyed
enjoyed myself, but it didn't change the wheel.
No.
I mean, I was confused on the brother situation.
Yeah, I think that was like the big twist.
But it wasn't his brother. It was him. Or we don't know.
Or was it?
Yeah. And then she kills him, and then the cop's like okay with it, even though he's like beyond reproach the whole movie.
Yeah.
Then he's like okay with it. But
yeah, then like
it wasn't terrible. The brother's beating the shit out of that cop, and he's like a tough guy. The cop, does his suit make you strong? Like, how did he? Because he was like fighting like a pro. I mean, not just me being a prick.
I mean, it's true.
The guy seemed kind of wormy, and she was even calling him wormy, saying that he's wormy compared to his brother when she was pissing him off.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, oh, it was him the whole time. Okay, and it's like, no, it was just him. I mean, so it's really the brother and them together. I mean, yeah, I can see that. And then the water thing, I was like, okay, she can see him, and it's like it makes it malfunction. It was just, I don't know.
Like I said, it was just kind of out there, but it was enjoyable.
It wasn't stupid, okay? It wasn't stupid.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, wow, what the hell are they smoking? It was fun. It was a fun film. It would probably be a lot more fun in the theaters.
Yeah.
Probably up close with the loud noises, but we won't know what that's like for a while. Yeah, we may never ever know ever.
Nope.
But one of the craziest parts is when when that girl got her throat slit at the table.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And then she did that to him at the end, like, whew. Mm-hmm. And then again, how did she know where the suit was? I mean, I don't know. That's just me being a prick. That's where I can't enjoy anything. But so you recommend that, The Invisible Man?
Yeah.
I recommend it too. It's a fun movie. So what are you listening to? Anything fun?
Like music-wise?
Conversations, people on wiretaps? No, yes, music.
I don't listen to a lot of music anymore.
You're in a band, Jerry. You have to.
I'm not in a band anymore.
Well, none of us are in bands anymore. None of us are in bands right now, so.
I don't know. I don't really listen to a lot of music anymore. Or lately, I should say. It's a lot of podcasts. What do you listen to?
Wait, what podcast you listen to besides ours, buddy?
Listen to Joe Rogan a lot. Listen to Bill Burr. Try to listen to the Time Suck podcast. You ever heard of that one?
Yeah.
Listen to that every once in a while. A lot of just YouTube. You know, I just go down YouTube rabbit holes a lot of times. Not really like full episodes, just of, certain clips.
Yeah, I watch a lot of Stern on YouTube, like interviews and stuff.
Hmm.
I watch Joe Rogan on YouTube. I pretty much don't listen to their
Yeah, same
podcast.
here. It's just I go down YouTube rabbit holes of certain shows, whether they're podcasts or just TV shows, or not TV shows, web series.
I I listened to the new Nine Inch Nails Ghost album.
How was that?
Well, when the first Ghost came out, I didn't give a shit about it because
Hmm.
it was no lyrics. It was basically just like an instrumental soundtrack, and that's what this is. But I like this because I think I'm a different person now. And after like enjoying the Watchmen soundtrack, I enjoy the new installment of the Ghost series. It's not Nine Inch Nails. I mean, it is Nine Inch Nails, but it is. I probably like B-sides of stuff he did for scores, and he's just kind of putting them all together. Guess what, assholes? It's free, so shut the fuck up.
Right.
A lot of people misinformed complaining about it. It's like, okay, he did this before, and you want your money back? I don't know what to tell him. I like it. It's really cool. It gives you a good kind of vibe, nice kind of chill, relaxing, creepy at times. But he's really impressing me the more and more time goes on. Where he started out as like this angry goth rock guy, and now he's just a respectable composer. It's really amazing how certain people go in certain directions, and he kind of went in a really good direction after going in a bad direction.
Hmm.
Have you checked it out? Are you a fan of Ghost? Are you not? Are you like
I
on
haven't
the?
listened to it yet.
But do you have the attitude the others people have, where it's like it's boring? Who cares?
I don't know. I haven't listened to it yet.
The first Ghost, Jerry, you're being difficult.
I don't even
The
think I
first.
listened to the first Ghost.
Okay, so you don't care then.
It's not that I don't care. It's I never got around to listen to it. Or I do.
Also,
Or I knew it was instrumentals, and I just purposely didn't listen to it.
that was my attitude the first time, but this time I don't know. I got a different attitude.
Times have
So,
changed. What year was that when that came out?
was it 2008, 2007?
Yeah.
He also released The Slip, which wasn't instrumentals. He released that for free too. Just a Bernie Sanders of music, I guess.
I like the Slip. That was a good. That was a good album.
It's a great album.
Hmm.
I'm also listening to on YouTube. I mentioned I saw Happy Season 2. The soundtrack is amazing. It's like almost Trent Reznor did it. So I'm listening to the soundtrack on YouTube, and The Weeknd has a new album out, and I've been listening to The Weeknd a lot. It's kind of like Netflix and chill music, except there's no one to chill with. He's gonna be a household name, man. In like 10 years, he's gonna be like Michael Jackson without the molestation stigma.
Yeah, I might check that out.
He's got a good voice. It's R&B and shit, and it's really good. And then you got Metallica's doing live streams every Monday night, which is awesome. A lot of bands are doing live stream concerts, which is the best you can probably hope for right now.
Hmm.
And I'm glad that the mighty Metallica is doing it. So I've been checking that out. And yeah, that's pretty much my music situation besides the normal stuff I'll YouTube or listen to on Apple Music. Um, There's supposed to be that Pearl Jam concert last night. Obviously, it was postponed. Facebook notified me like last night the concert's postponed. It's like, really? I didn't know. I was just
Really.
about to leave. But I like
Oh
their two
man.
new. They have two new songs out, and I enjoy them. I always enjoyed Pearl Jam.
Hmm.
I find them very honest and just straightforward, and I like that about them. But I'll let you close this out with whatever you got going on.
I think we kind of wrapped it all up. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to keep myself entertained, and like you said, a lot of times it's just YouTube rabbit holes of just stuff or just of clips of stuff to make the day go by, and then watch Saul here and there, and then it used to be 2 hours over Trump press conferences, but don't watch those anymore.
Wait for
Yeah,
the next season.
I'll take your recommendations, and we'll.
I got one question about your YouTube rabbit hole.
Mhm.
When you're on YouTube, do you watch established people like you said Joe Rogan? Do you watch like clips from professionally produced stuff, or do you watch like amateur people? Like this is how you do this, this is how you do that, or you know what I'm saying?
A
Like
lot of times
how-to
it's
videos,
professional. A
professional.
lot of
That's
times,
what I
yeah,
find myself watching too.
yeah, yep. Um, Actually, back to wrestling. I'm really digging those documentaries on Vice.
Hey, yeah, hit that Chris Benoit documentary real quick. What was that like when you watched it?
It was just his story, his how he came up, and it was a two-parter, so it was 2 hours. And I wasn't really watching wrestling when all that happened. But yeah, it just showed. It kind of touched on Eddie Guerrero's death, and that's kind of what started his Benoit's insanity. And
Eddie
then
Guerrero's death?
yeah, because they were really close.
What?
And the documentary kind
What?
of hinted at like too close, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
They didn't
really?
say it, but they're like what, like they just
Hmm.
like what he did, not what he did. Okay, without being vague, like his so Vicky Guerrero like would walked in on Benoit like holding his pillow and crying. So it's like stuff like that. It's like okay, either he really misses him or something. There's more. There was more to their relationship. But I'm not gonna say for sure about anything. But it was
What?
really good.
What led up to him killing his family?
I mean, they didn't. No one knows for sure. Um, they just kind of did the whole like 911 call and who the investigators that went to the house and they kind of dove into that and then after that was studies on that they found a lot of CTE in his brain after autopsy. So I don't want
So
to
he
give the
had
whole thing away.
no,
Yeah,
no, no, no. He had damage. Is that what they're getting at? He had
yeah,
damage.
yeah.
Okay. What about roid use?
Yeah, that was talked about too.
What about any mental illness?
That I don't know.
Well, they did his origins. Like, did he have any fucked up origins?
No,
No.
he just took wrestling super seriously.
Did they have any fucking like foreshadowing behavior with him and his family at all?
Kind of. They said a couple times they got in pretty heated fights, but
I was just gonna say, did his wife say anything? But she's dead.
yeah. No,
That's
it's a good
funny.
check. And even like the next episode was New Jack from ECW, which I never watched ECW, never heard of New Jack, but that was a pretty wild one too. So I'm digging it. I don't even like know half these people, but just to see the background of some of these crazy wrestlers, it's a good watch.
Was Vince on, or was Vince like
No, this isn't.
Vince isn't endorsing this at
No,
all?
no.
Did they? And my final question: did they attack the WWE as a system for this?
Yes, they did for Benoit.
Well, how did the WWE fail him or cause this?
You're, I'm giving away the whole thing. You should go watch it.
I will go watch it. I'm not the kind of guy that won't watch stuff if I know stuff. If I know stuff, it makes me more interested. I'm weird like that.
Because he passed away like on the night of a pay per view, and
Oh, that's
they
right.
canceled it. I can't remember if they
Yeah.
canceled it or not. And then like without any information, they just knew that he was dead, and then his whole family was dead. But they didn't have any information. So like the Raw the next night, it was like a big like a 3 hour tribute to him. And then like a week later, they found out that he actually killed the family and killed himself. And then it was just like okay, and they got in trouble. They didn't get in trouble, but you know it made them look bad, saying, "Oh my God, you guys knew, and you're celebrating him when he killed his family." And so the big thing was like they didn't mention anything after that, I think they came back and said, we didn't have all the information. They pretty much just erased Benoit from like their history, like to this very day.
I remember, and I don't remember exactly, but Vince was written off the storyline to take a break. I don't know in what fashion. And he had to like just make a fucking abrupt return. Like they created some storyline where he'd be gone for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
and then he comes fucking back, like right away to like deal with this. It's just, it sucks. All
Yeah, no, it's a good watch. I recommend it. It's on
right,
Vice.
man. Sounds good.
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Tune in next week with more streaming suggestions. I don't know what we're done with Ozark. I guess we'll do Saul still. We're done with Curb. Got to find another show to watch.
Yeah, you find the show, let me know, and I'll check it out.
We'll do.
I'm
All right.
I'm also watching The Platform. It's a fucked up movie on Netflix. It's a foreign movie with subtitles. That's scary enough, but it's like, I'm not gonna give it away. But you like foreign films? You like subtitles, or you like, I can't do that? Like, does that turn you off? Subtitles?
No.
All right.
All right. I'll check that out.
That's my final thing.
All right. All right. Well, we'll talk to you next week.
See you later.